Hello there, folks. This is Joe Wazoo here. Hey, today I'm going to make a short, quick video on how you can do a one-shot or an ONS function in Rockwell software. I'm going to show how to do this in Crimson Control, our PLC engine. In this case, I'm using a DA70. This is a Group 4 product, and so it's got the Crimson Control key in it. I'm going to go over here to the lower right-hand corner and click on Control here. I got a program here. I already changed the name, but it's Program 1 normally. Here I changed it to one-shot ladder. I don't have anything in here. So in this case, if you go over to the right side in function blocks, you're going to have a bunch of different function blocks available here. And if you look through all these, you really won't see a rising edge or a one-shot trigger thing. So I found kind of a workaround. I'm going to go here to the arithmetic, and I'm going to use this plus function here. So I'm going to drag this out here, put the plus guy right here. Right here, I want to use my input to enable this function. So I'm going to go ahead and click the insert contact before. I'm going to call this input, hit enter, and it's going to be a Boolean, so I'll say yes to that. So that's going to enable this function. And on this function, I'm going to basically put a 1 here, a constant, like so. And then this one here, I can just add a 0 to it. So I'll put a 0 there. I really want this to be a 1, so hit it again. And the output of this is the output here, is going to be the sum of these two. I'm going to double click here and I'm going to create a tag called ResetLatch. ResetLatch. And when I hit enter, this is actually not going to be a Boolean, it's going to be an integer number because it's coming from that function. So if I hit the pull down there and click on the word integer up here, I'm going to declare that as an integer variable. So according to this, when this goes on, it executes this. 1 plus 0, this should then equal 1. All right, so that's the first step of this. And then I'm going to go over here to the right and I'm going to go to comparisons and I'm going to drag out the greater than or equal function. I'll put it right here, for instance. Okay, this one I'm going to have this run all the time, but right here I want to use the reset latch here. So I'll go ahead and double click. I'm going to put the reset latch, that value there. Okay, and anytime it is equal to 1 or greater, so I'm going to go ahead and make this be a number 1 constant, like so. I want to then turn on the output right here. So I'm going to double click on the coil part here. Oops, not there, right here. Double click here. I'm going to call this my output. Hit enter. This is going to be a Boolean, so I'll say yes to that. All right, that looks perfect. So in Crimson Control, you got to do a couple steps here. You got to do the check your syntax. There's no errors. That's perfect. And you got to compile or build the project just like you would in any other PLC program. Okay, so this looks good to me. Now, I don't have the DA70 here, so I'm going to take advantage of something really cool that you can do in Crimson 3.2. You can also do this in 3.1 with Crimson Control, is I'm going to debug this offline. So this little pull down right here, I'm going to actually simulate offline. So let's go ahead and simulate, say yes. All right, you can see right now, team, that the output is off. The input is currently off as well. Okay, so the goal of this is when the input goes on to turn the output on and latch it, leave it on. So if I double click on this guy, force it to a true, notice the output is now currently on. If I turn this off, the output stays on because now the 1 is greater than. So it's always going to stay on regardless of what state my input is. It's always going to stay on. So there I have proven I've got a one-shot latch to turn this on. Now here's the bonus question. What could I do to reset this to off? What could I do? Well, I could actually, this reset latch, if I set this back to a 0, double click on it, set that to a 0, that turns off the logic, which puts it to false. Again, now I have to hit this, and now it's going to stay on regardless of this input. Going on or off, it's going to stay on until I reset the latch. So that's pretty cool. I'm currently doing this in the debug window here. Let's take this one step further and let's see if I could actually make an HMI display page that would interact with this. So I'm going to go offline, hit this button here, stop my emulation here. These 3 tags over here consist or currently in the Crimson Control. I don't have any tags in the HMI side of this, and of course here's the display page we're starting with. So I'm going to go back to Crimson Control and I want to make these 3 variables be usable in the HMI side of this. So if I click on the input one here, over here where it says source, I'm going to say, you know what? Create a new tag. It's going to create a folder called project.the input tag. I'm going to say yes. I should have showed this before. But over here in the lower right-hand corner, if I click here, these are the tags that are viewable by the HMI side of this Crimson software. So that's that there. Let me go click on Reset Latch, hit the pull down here, and go do new tag. Say yes to that guy. Notice it came up as an integer. You'll see that. See the X means it's an integer. The flag tag means it's a Boolean over in that software. It'd be nice if these images would show the same. But anyway, let me click on the output, hit the pull down here, change this to a new tag as well. And now we should have all three of those over here available for the HMI side of the Crimson. So now if I go over here to over this side, you'll see the same tag, blah, blah, blah. But if I go to display pages, okay, and in this case, I'm going to make this pretty quick. I'm going to go to the right side. I'm going to just drag out this whole folder out here like this. Go ahead and make this be a little bigger like this. I'm going to make this guy be data entry. For giggles, I'll make this one be data entry, and I'll make this one be data entry as well. Okay, so we're going to test this. When I made these tags available to Crimson, to the HMI side of this, I have to actually recompile. You know what? I'm just going to show you this. So I want to test this. This little button right here is the emulator. You can actually use the emulator Crimson 3.2. If this is the first time that you've done this, it will ask you to install, I think it's called PCAP or some emulator software. It should ask you to install that. So I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to go ahead and hit the lightning bolt. Also, you can go to link options, and it should give you emulator here. And by the way, you can use the configure. You can set up actually some of your serial ports in here as well. So anyway, that important thing, emulator execution is limited to 15 minutes. So it times out and you just fire it back up. That's okay. I'm gonna click the OK button. I didn't test this before I did this video, so let's see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this button here. Oh, now here's what I was talking about. It says you have unbuilt projects or unbuilt control things. The problem here is that I forgot to recompile when I made those tags available over here. So I'm going to go back to Crimson Control on this side, click on my ladder program right here, and I'm going to do the old syntax here, no errors, and I'm going to click on the build one more time right there. Perfect. All right, let's see now, team, if I can go ahead and download the emulator. Let's see what it does here. Yes. I'm going to continue here. Let's see if it pops up here. I have noticed sometimes that I have to do this twice, but here it's working once. Okay. So look here, team, I'm in the emulator. This is what would be on a real Redline product. If I turn on my input here, you can see my output is on. Of course, if I turn this off, it stays on. Turn it on, stays on, and so forth. No big deal. However, because I put the reset latch in here, if I click on this guy and make it be a 0, you'll see the output goes back on just like I was doing. And of course here, works perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Crimson. I'm going to try one more thing since I'm making this quick little video. I want to know, could I actually debug this online with my emulator? I don't know. I'm going to try it. So I'm going to do this debug online. Let's see what this does. And it didn't work. Oh, well, okay. Hold on here. Hold on. So you can see this is live. Can I move this? Oh, yeah. So if you look, sorry about the excitement here. So here I am debugging online right here. I can see my code in the background. So if I turn this guy off, you can see it went off here. Looks great. What if I do the reset, set it to 0? You can see right now it's at a 1 right here. Hit enter. Boom. Turned off the code. And of course, if I go here, turn it on again, that's perfect. What about this? Can I actually go over here and debug this, set this to a 0 right there? Oh, wait. Before I do that, I got to turn this off. Let me turn this to false. Turn this to 0. That's off. Pull up the emulator. Look at everything is, oh, this is so perfect. That's so sweet. Anyway, that's a quick video, team, on how to make a one-shot in Crimson Control. This is at least my idea. There's probably a gazillion other methods to do this concept, but this was my idea of how to make a one-shot in Crimson Control. Hey, thanks a lot, folks. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you later.